I wanted to definitely dive in deep to talk about the fact that yes, you can heal your own chronic pain. Even though doctors tell you no, but yes, you can. Because I want to remind you that your ancestors were healers and you come from your ancestors. And so if your ancestors were healers, then what makes you think you can't heal yourself? It's something that I uncovered myself with my chronic pain healing journey after being exhausted from going to doctor after doctor after doctor with no real fixing, just patching up. And from somebody who's always been very active, like I walk a lot, I'm very mobile, I walk TAS like a mile or two a day, to not being able to do much because the pain is so bad. The migraines, the chronic neck pain, the chronic shoulder pain, the back pain, the nerve pain, the gut issues like PCOS, fibroids, fibromyalgia, shooting pain, numbness, tingling, all that stuff, right? I started to really go down a deep dive of like, okay, I know where I come from, right? I'm hyper aware of where I come from and what my lineage is and was, right? And I can remember from the time that I was very little how my mom used to take us to the curandera, which is like, I don't know how to say that in English, but like the neighborhood witch who would, like if you were having a bad cold that wouldn't go away and either you didn't have money to see a doctor, or maybe you had no insurance, or maybe you went to the doctor and whatever the doctor is giving you isn't working, and so you went. These were our doctors, our community healers, our curanderas, our witches, our herbalists, our, the ones who give you like a little protection bag and the little juju bags and all of that, is who we went to feel better. Because not only was it that maybe we don't have the money to see a doctor, but sometimes a lot of us didn't trust doctors for a lot of reasons. And so we would rather go to someone in the community that we trusted and that looked like us and that we knew was going to make us feel better with just natural things. And not to say that medicine is bad, because I'm not here to knock medicine. I just feel, in my opinion and through my experience, that medicine is something that is good for like a life and death situation. Like if you need brain surgery or open heart surgery, things like that. But when it comes to like curing certain diseases and helping you feel better from certain chronic conditions and illnesses and chronic pain, all they're there to do is help you live a more comfortable life. But they're not there to actually cure and get to the bottom of what's causing the chronic pain and the chronic illness and the chronic issues. They're either going to send you for PT or they're going to give you pain medication and send you to see specialist after specialist and get MRIs and CAT scans and all the things. And if you're lucky, you have a diagnosis. But if you're not lucky, they can't figure out what the hell is wrong with you. So there's no real way of treating you. And then let's not forget the fact that chronic pain is subjective. So although you look fine to the, physically, because that's another thing with chronic pain, doctors tend to not believe us because, number one, we already feel like shit. We don't want to look like shit as well. And so, at least in my experience, I was able to pour into the things I could control, and my appearance was one of them. And so I made it a thing to, when I had to go for my appointments or anytime I had to leave the house, that I would look somewhat decent so that I didn't also feel like shit, so that my internal feelings didn't manifest into my physical appearance. Because that whole thing, at least for me, is true. If you look good, you feel better, right? Or you can mask it better, right? So sometimes you have a diagnosis. Most of the times you don't. A lot of times doctors can't figure out what's going on with you. You know that you're in pain. You know that it's unbearable, but a lot of times they test you for a lot of different types of conditions and they cannot get a diagnosis for you. And so you're kind of in limbo of them trying to manage your pain, which can get frustrating and expensive because you're paying co-pays, deductibles, co-insurance, and God knows what else to see these different doctors. And let's not even talk about like time that you're wasting, like going to these places and commuting here and there. But it gets frustrating because there's no real answers as to why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And so a lot of times with issues like this, or just something as basic as a cold or a flu or COVID or things like that, a lot of us have a lot of faith in our neighborhood curanderas, our neighborhood witches, the healers in our neighborhood, because they've proved to us time and time again that they can end the issues that we're dealing with. It's not just, oh, let me give you this herbal tea, or let me give you this little concoction and you're gonna have to drink this for the rest of your life. No, a lot of times is you're taking these different things that they're giving you, and a lot of times it's a one and done. Like, you don't have to go back. And so I wanted to really talk about how, yes, you can cure your own chronic pain, because we come from people who were natural born healers, who were able to just, like, let's say in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, they look at your tongue and they're able to figure out what's wrong with you. They're able to give you the herbs that you need to get rid of and to cure you from what you're dealing with. Like, there's a lot of people who have cured their cancer naturally, you know, and all these other types of terminal illnesses and diseases from the body, because the body is very wise. The body holds a lot of wisdom. The body can cure itself from a lot of things. And chronic pain, in the deep dive that I went into, because I was so desperate to feel better, is like, I want to figure out what is causing this chronic pain, because nobody could tell me what was causing it. Nobody could tell me. I just knew that I was in a lot of pain. And so I went on this quest to heal myself. I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to miss anything. Because what I figured out in my quest, what I figured out with all the research that I did on not only the body, but the nervous system, the way the brain works, the way trauma works, is that chronic pain is simply, but not simply, because it's not simple, but simply is trapped emotions in the body that have not been released. Trapped trauma in the body that has not been released. A lot of times it's rage, shame, fear that you continuously bottle up throughout the years, and you don't let it out of your body. So what's happening is, oh, I have my cup here. So I like to kind of demonstrate this like this, like all the times you didn't speak up for yourself. Let's make pretend this is empty. You're going to add some water here. All the times you didn't speak up for yourself, add some water. All the times you said yes, but you really wanted to say no, but you didn't want to ruffle feathers and you wanted to keep people pleasing, add some more water. Every time you didn't put up a boundary, or you didn't maintain your boundary or enforce a boundary, some more water. Every time you wanted to keep the peace and not say what was truly on your mind because you didn't want to upset people, some more water. Every time you overextended yourself and overworked yourself, more water. Every time you kept running that Superwoman cape down to the ground, it has holes in it, it's all beat up and dirty from you doing the most, more water. So what eventually happens is that water starts to overfill, right? Oops, this is your body. The water starts to overfill, and this can no longer close. This can no longer close. And what the water that is overfilling or overspilling or spilling over What that is chronic pain. And what that is the body signaling to you, the host, something's wrong. Hey, pay attention, something's wrong, something's wrong. Because a lot of times we are not going to listen unless it becomes uncomfortable for us. And chronic pain is hella uncomfortable and painful. It's going to stop you on your tracks, and you're going to want to know what is going on and how do you make it stop. And so what chronic pain is just simply the body protecting you from abandoning yourself, from continuously putting people before you, for not taking care of yourself, for burning yourself out, for doing too much, for being the go-to person that everybody goes to for everything, for not resting, for not pouring into your body the way that you should be pouring into yourself. And a lot of times this is all learned behavior. Like, I know for myself, it was learned behavior. My mother did this. I remember seeing my mother running herself to the ground, exhausted all the time, cranky, angry, just filled with burden and exhaustion all the time. And she is a Pisces, I'm a Cancer, an overgiver, where people would like treat her like a doormat. And so what do us kids learn best by? Modeled behavior. And so when I became an adult, I modeled what I saw. I would do the most. I wouldn't speak up for myself. I wanted to keep the peace all the time. I would do whatever it took to make people feel more comfortable, even if it took me out of my comfort zone. If it made me uncomfortable, that didn't matter as long as my loved ones were okay. I overgave. I overshared. I didn't put up boundaries. Everything was a yes, 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 yes. And after so many years, the body starts to break down, because the body is not meant for that type of exhaustion. The body's not meant for that type of overuse. The body is like a car. It needs maintenance. It needs to have its oil changed. It needs the tires to rotate. It needs to rest. You can't drive a car 24/7. You're going to mess up the engine. The car needs to rest or it'll overheat. You need to change your spark plugs. You need to clean your car, wash it. Some of us are just literally just bathing our bodies, and that's all the care and love that we give to our bodies, and that's it. We don't rest adequately enough. We don't sit in silence. We don't get the issues, like we keep replaying things in our mind over and over again, and that leads to migraines because you are overusing your brain. You start to fail cognitively because your brain is exhausted. Your brain is burnt out. Your neck pain, let me put this down. Your neck pain is really just you not being able to speak up for yourself. Is you not being able to say no to people. Is a malfunctioning throat chakra. Your shoulders is you being superwoman. You bearing the weight of the world on your shoulders. Too much responsibility is what causes that shoulder pain. The chest is grief. Lung issues, grief. You suppressing your emotions. And that's what causes all those lung issues and respiratory issues and all that pain that you feel in your chest. The nerve pain. You not being able to sit your ass down, doing too much, and not being able to tend to your mind, body, soul. I call it the MBS method of like, not only does your body need rest, your mind does too, and your spirit, your soul. And they're all connected. Mind, body, spirit is all connected. You cannot just focus on your body and not focus on your mind and not focus on your spirit. Right? That knee pain, foot pain, ankle pain is you being afraid of moving forward and making decisions you know you've been needing to make for a long time, but you're afraid to upset people. You're afraid to make people uncomfortable. You're afraid to make people feel bad. The hand pain is you overworking yourself, of you doing things you don't want to do, but you don't have the courage to say no. You don't have the courage to change direction and pivot. And so, is the pain real? Absolutely. It is real. I'm not here trying to gaslight you and say, no, it's not chronic pain. The pain is real. Trust me, because I've experienced it firsthand. I know exactly what the hell chronic pain is. It is unbearable. I know what it is. But at the root of that is trauma that has been built up for years after years after years. And for me, it was decades after decade after decade. Of just, it compounds like interest, right? It compounds and compounds and compounds until the body says, that's it. I can't take no more. I need you to start releasing this. I need you to start expressing yourself. I need you to let go of this trauma. I need you to actually face your issues. I need you to start looking after yourself more. I need you to make yourself a priority. I need you to stop abandoning yourself. So again, medicine just puts a band-aid on things. It doesn't get to the root of the issue. And the only way that you're going to cure this is by getting to the root of it. And not to say that by expressing your emotions and releasing your emotions that you'll never feel pain again. You will if you don't have a lifestyle change. If you don't start putting yourself first. You will. You will continue to feel pain. Even if you are aware of what's causing that pain. It's because you're not doing anything about it. So the road to curing your chronic pain is a complete lifestyle change. It's a time in your life. It's a new chapter where you are the priority. You put yourself first. You're the one that matters before anybody else, including your spouse and kids, your parents, your siblings, your nuclear circle, your epicenter. Because without your sanity, without you being well, with physically, spiritually, mentally, you cannot be there for anyone else. Fully, you can't. Because your body's going to start to break down on you. It's how the body is designed. The body needs rest. The body needs maintenance. The body needs rest. The body needs maintenance in order to properly function. There's a lot of us walking around here who do not even feel comfortable resting. I used to be one of those. Whenever I would tackle all the things on my to-do list, I didn't know what to do in the silence. I didn't know what to do with the spare time. So I would find something to do instead of just resting. Resting for me felt like guilt. It felt like shame. Because I felt like I could be doing something else. How dare you rest? Your mother didn't get to rest. How dare you rest? But that takes a lot of excavating why that trauma is there, for you to then start feeling okay with resting and pouring into yourself, fully pouring into yourself. I'm not talking about a mani-pedi, getting your hair done. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the type of self-love that pours into you internally. I'm not talking about physical self-care, even though rest is physical self-care, but it also attunes into your insides, right? Your spirit. It allows you to rest your mind, to rest your brain, because when you're in burnout, at least when I was in burnout, I literally felt like my brain was on fire. I could not read one more thing. I couldn't decode one more thing. I couldn't write an email. I couldn't read a book. I couldn't look at my phone. Like, I had to disconnect completely to give my brain a break because it was overloaded and overworked. And it could no longer do what it was supposed to do. And so I had to really take a good look at myself and say, why is it that resting feels uncomfortable for you? Why is it that taking a break feels uncomfortable for you? Why is it that you not doing anything feels uncomfortable for you? Because I'm an overachiever, which brings me to my next point as to the people who tend to get chronic pain and to experience all of these chronic pain conditions, including things like cancer, including things like multiple sclerosis, a lot of autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia, including chronic pain like I spoke about, migraines, body pain like neck, shoulder, back, nerve pain, neuropathy, PCOS, fibroids, IBS, all these sorts of gut issues and shooting pain and numbness and tingling. The common denominator in all these people is that they're overworkers, overachievers, they have no boundaries, they cannot say no, they think they can take on the world, they're superwoman, they don't know how to rest, they are very passive people, and they are the peacekeepers. They are the people pleasers. These are the types of people that tend to get chronic pain and chronic autoimmune diseases. Because what they're doing is they're overworking themselves to the point of exhaustion. They're not asking for help. They're not delegating. So I want you to sit in your power. I want you to remember just how magical and powerful you are and your body is, and the fact that you've come from ancestors who were healers. It's in your DNA. So why is it that you cannot heal your own chronic pain? There's no reason why you cannot heal your own chronic pain. There's no reason why you have to continue to put your faith in the medical system. There's I forget, is it 30, 60 million people in the United States alone suffering with chronic pain? I can only imagine how much the pharmaceutical companies are making off of this. When in reality, what chronic pain really is your body just yelling for some sort of expression, yelling for some sort of release of all these pent-up, stored emotions that you have never released, that you have never expressed, the anger, the shame, the fear. And a lot of it, if not all of it or most of it, comes from our childhood. Because our childhood dictates who we are or who we become as adults. And so it's a lot of shadow work where you have to go back in time. You have to go back in time and see what were these events in my life that caused me to be the person who is afraid to say no, the person who feels like she could take on the world, who doesn't need support, who doesn't need comforting, the person who can't keep boundaries, the person who doesn't know how to rest, the person who feels like she needs to keep going despite the exhaustion, the person who can't speak up for herself, the person who overworks herself and can't say no at work. What was it in your childhood that caused you to feel like you had to do it all? And so I invite you to really step into your power and really know that you come from ancestors who were healers, who were able to heal themselves from a lot of things because they understood the way the body works. So why can you not heal your own chronic pain? They understood the connection between mind, body, and spirit. They understood the connection between the body and the elements. They understood the connection between the body, the earth, the body and water, the body and air, the body and fire, the body and herbs. They understood this. So with all that wisdom that is in your DNA, with all that healing energy that's in your DNA, why is it that we have to depend on these doctors to heal us from these issues that are causing so many of us to be debilitated and to not live the lives that we deserve to be living, to not live a soft and joyful life because we're dealing with constant chronic pain, where chronic pain is dictating our schedules. We're canceling plans because we literally have to schedule our lives around the different flare-ups that we're going to get with this chronic pain, with the multiple sclerosis symptoms of shooting pain, with the migraines, with the rheumatoid arthritis, with the fibromyalgia, with the gut issues, the fibroids. Like, we literally have to schedule our lives around these different flare-ups that happen when you have these conditions. But there is an answer that does not involve going to more and more doctors. It's why there's this, why traditional Chinese medicine exists and why it's so popular, because it works. Why is it that these healers are able to see what's wrong with you just by looking at your tongue? And then they're able to give you a concoction of herbs that actually can heal you. But you go to the doctor and they can't find out what's wrong with you. They can't find out what's causing this chronic pain. They can't even give you a diagnosis. And if they give you a diagnosis, they can't cure it. They just give you a bunch of medicine to keep taking for the rest of your life. And so you're a slave to the medicine that is just putting a band-aid on the issue. It's not actually curing you. So it's like you become this new person and you have to get used to life being sick. Instead of healing yourself, healing your chronic pain, healing your issues, and returning back to the life that you loved, that you once loved, or going and stepping, taking it a step further and creating a life of pure softness and joy that's even better than the life that you left behind before the chronic pain. Because now you're in a situation and you're in a place where you understand that you have to pour into your body. You understand how much love our body needs from us on a daily basis in order to function properly. So yeah, chronic pain is just literally pent up and stored emotions and trauma in your body that has not been released. The rage, the shame, the fear of so many years of you not speaking up for yourself, not saying no, not setting up boundaries or maintaining them, not overworking yourself or from overworking yourself. All the times you've kept the peace and haven't said what you really wanted to say to people because you didn't want to upset anybody, or you didn't want somebody to be mad at you, or you were literally trying to keep the peace, so you became a people pleaser. But in turn, you are doing nothing but damage to yourself. And a lot of us really didn't learn how to communicate anyway, because we came from that generation of you're seen but not heard. You don't pay bills here, so you don't have an opinion. Who are you to have an opinion? You're just a kid. And so we learned to just keep our emotions to ourselves. We learned to not express ourselves. And that after years of doing that, the body starts to rebel. And the body starts to manifest in chronic pain because it's trying to get your attention, because it's trying to tell you that it cannot take any more of you swallowing the peace, doing all the things to make everybody else happy, Meanwhile, you're in pain and you're miserable. Thank you for the love. And I have opened up the wait list to my Return to Self program. The link is in bio for anybody suffering with chronic pain that wants to be able to end their chronic pain and be able to live a soft and joyful life that is free from chronic pain. Go ahead and click on the link in my bio, sign up for the wait list. You'll be the first to know when the program opens up again. And I cannot wait to see you on the other side. I am hoping and crossing my fingers that this live has audio, because I tried to go live yesterday and I literally went on live for like 45 minutes and there was no audio. So let's just hope that y'all could hear me. I haven't seen anybody say I can't hear you, so I'm going to take that as this has worked. And I want to wish you an amazing weekend, and I will be going live again next week, so keep an eye out for that. If you want to turn on your notifications, go ahead and do that too. But this has been fun, and I hope that I have sparked some sort of curiosity in you to really take your body seriously, to have faith in yourself, to have confidence in your healing abilities, because we come from ancestors who were healers. We come from curanderas. We come from the neighborhood witches who were able to cure people in our own neighborhoods from so many ailments. So why is it that you can't cure your own chronic pain? You can. It is possible. All right, so I'm going to see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and talk soon.